Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited. Isis, All That Glitters. The goddess next door takes on a bikini-clad bank robber in this action-packed all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis, All That Glitters in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. One of my viewers wanted to know, why don't people have basic manners anymore? And the answer to that question is very simple. The reason why people don't have basic manners anymore in this country is because over the last 60 years, we haven't taught any children manners whatsoever, and they've grown up into adults who never even knew what manners were in the first place. Now, the reason why so many people don't have basic manners is because our society basically has not had a family unit for a good 60 years, and since we have not had a good family unit for the last 60 years, what has happened is the whole concept of manners has not been taught from generation to generation or passed down from generation to generation. I say starting with the baby boomers, because what happened with the baby boomers is that they were the generation that really did not go out here and actively look to start teaching their children manners, because they basically got caught up in concepts like feminism, and that basically changed the whole dynamic of the family. And as the dynamic of the family changed from a patriarchal unit where culture and tradition were passed on through the authority of the father, what happened with many families is, again, you had the family go from having a father in the home who established leadership and guidance for the children, which established how they were supposed to socialize, and then they see their mother and father socializing. What happened was, as the home changed, we went from homes that were two-parent homes to homes with single mothers and divorced parents. And again, sadly, manners basically fell through the cracks as related to the social etiquette, because there was a lot of fighting between men and women as related to these gender wars and other issues like divorce. And manners basically fell through the cracks because instead of seeing their parents, again, model manners for them, as watching their mother and father model manners in front of them by doing things like saying please and thank you and showing respect to another person. No, that wasn't taught in the home, because the home basically changed as, again, the father was removed from the home and the mother basically was out here working. And as the father was removed from the home and the mother was out here working, children were placed in daycares, and daycares were basically warehouses for children where they were not taught anything at all. No, they were just given some toys to play. So there was no structure in the home. There was no mother and father to model manners in front of them or to teach their children manners whatsoever. So without that family unit to establish manners as part of the culture, what happened is that the children basically didn't learn manners, and even worse, in many public schools, again, they could not be taught manners because as we went on in society, again, teachers were not taught to reinforce these type of social rules. No, as we got into the public schools, what happened with the public schools is that a lot of teachers were told not to teach these type of things to children. And as we got into the 2000s, what happened with a lot of teachers is that the curriculum changed. And when women like Lucy Calkins came in, she focused on, again, as part of her balanced literacy, more skill and drill things as related to guided reading, and all of the lessons that children would have been taught in between, like manners, social studies, history, all of that was removed so that we could skill and drill to socially engineer so-called smarter children. But sadly, as we were trying to socially engineer smarter children, we wound up teaching children, again, things that that other generations didn't learn. I mean, sadly, our kids didn't get the social skills or the interpersonal skills, and this is why a lot of our kids don't have manners anymore, because they don't see it being modeled. They haven't seen it be modeled for themselves in over 60 years. I mean, the start of a lot of kids not seeing manners really started with the age of feminism, where women basically, again, the woman is the first teacher, and with the woman being the first teacher and the one out here, and she's teaching her kids, again, hostility towards the father, that starts the children for learning that they don't need to have manners or respect for an older person. And as they learn from the mother, again, hostility towards the father, that basically teaches the kids they don't need to have manners. And as that woman goes on about her day and she's being loud, being argumentative, and being hostile to people like store workers, basically the kids are not seeing manners modeled for them. They're not seeing mom being polite and being friendly towards people. And they also see this with their fathers. Again, when they do have time with the father is being, again, very argumentative and very abrasive towards them because they are harboring a lot of anger towards the mother. And all of this is why your kids don't have manners, because they don't see manners modeled for them. And because they don't see manners modeled for them, what happens with the kids is that the kids learn that this type of antisocial behavior is perfectly normal, and being rude and disrespectful is perfectly normal because mom is being rude and disrespectful to dad. Mom is being rude and disrespectful to the cashier in line at the store. Dad is being rude to the people at McDonald's. I mean, people learn this type of behavior, and it's been socially conditioned over the course of, again, 50 years to be the norm, because it really wasn't that way when I was growing up in the 1980s. It really wasn't that way back in the early 80s. In the early 80s, we were basically taught good manners because there was still a remnant of people who understood what their silent generation parents had been taught. But when the baby boomers basically took over, they basically, again, grew up in the culture of feminism and the culture of, again, not treating people with respect because they didn't respect male authority. And again, this is what led to the whole situation where people don't have manners, they don't have respect for a fellow person, they don't know how to, again, show respect for another person. And this was passed on from generation to generation. And this is why we have situations where people are getting out of control, like these Karens inside of these stores, or incidents like I reported on where a woman basically, again, bought a knife inside of a store to stab another woman, all because she thought she was taking too long at the register. Again, these people have never been taught manners or how to have discipline or self-control because this is not modeled for them. And because this is not modeled for them, what happens to people is, again, we pass down antisocial behavior from generation to generation. And as we pass down this antisocial behavior from generation to generation, it's basically become the norm. It's become the norm among people to not have respect for people, to say please or say thank you, or even to, again, show respect to another person. No, the last time you'll see a person do that is from Generation X, because that was the last time we were taught manners in elementary school. But after that, when it comes down to millennials, when it comes down to Gen Z, again, manners were not taught. No, daycare was basically, again, warehousing kids, and public schools were so caught up in trying to socially engineer the next Bill Gates that they didn't go out here and understand that you have to teach kids basic manners and basic social skills and basic interpersonal skills, because sometimes the parents are too busy or they're so caught up in their own life situations, they don't have time to model this stuff for children. And again, the only thing that the kids learn from watching antisocial behavior is to become antisocial themselves. And that's really what's been happening all across this country and across the world overall, as we've gotten the culture of feminism pushed in this country and all over the world. Basically, people haven't learned manners, and since they haven't learned manners in this country, basically this is why so many kids again, have no respect for older people. No, they don't have respect for older people because the older people didn't teach this to their children. And basically, what we're seeing is things being passed on from generation to generation. And sadly, as we've gone on, again, yes, we've got all this technology and everything is so technologically advanced, but sadly, people don't treat people well. People don't treat people well. And that's the sad part about living in this modern society. We've lost our manners. We've lost our way of, again, treating each other. We've lost our way of showing respect for another person. And that's the saddest part about living in this modern technological society, is that the whole art of treating people right is being lost, and the whole right of teaching people how to treat others, do unto others, that was presented in the Bible has been forgotten for people. No, many people have forgotten how to treat another person, and that's the sad part about living in America these days and the West, is that people, again, don't know how to treat other people. And since they don't know how to treat other people, sadly, we are, again, just a sad society of people who basically, again, don't know how to respect another person, don't know how to respect another person, or see another person as someone they need to regard. That's the sad part about things in this country. It's just sad all around. Again, sad all around because, again, we're not treating each other right. And not treating each other right is, again, not the way. I mean, it's not the way around here, but this is the way we have learned. And we can easily unlearn this, but the whole thing, it would take time for us to unlearn this. Take time for us to unlearn this by another generation teaching manners and social skills and putting a high value on it. That's what we would need in this country all around. We would need a lot of people, again, teaching manners, because the only way people can learn manners is if it's taught by adults to children and to each other. That's the way we can fix this whole situation. But the whole thing is, the reason why we got in this situation is because we don't have good family units. And again, the destruction of the family destroyed manners. The destruction of the family unit basically is the main reason why we don't have any manners in this world. I mean, the family is where people learn manners from day one. It's mom and dad treating each other with respect that teaches other people to treat each other with respect. And if mom and dad are at each other's throats, then what are your kids going to learn? This was a video requested by one of my viewers, and if you want to request a video, you can send a donation for a minimum of $15 to the PayPal or the Cash App for my time. And if I know something about that subject, I'll make that video for you. And if you would really want to help me out, you can drop a pickup of some of the books on the SJS Direct imprint on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also help me out by also picking up books at Draft Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis, the Beauty Myth. Learn the beauty secrets of the goddess next door in this action-packed Isis series adventure. Get Isis, the Beauty Myth at online booksellers everywhere today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Isis, My Sister, My Frenemy. It's a sister act as the goddess next door and the devilish diva team up in this action-packed Isis series adventure. Get Isis, My Sister, My Frenemy in paperback and e-readers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.